Morning, all. It's still weird to me that we're seeing hockey games being played, and we're still just into we're into the final four. It means we got hockey going on for a while still, and it's the middle of June and it's gorgeous out. So yeah, uh, tonight we have Tampa Bay at home against the New York Islanders for Game Two. This is as must win as it gets. Tampa Bay hasn't been in this situation yet in the playoffs, and here we are where it's an absolute, yes, absolute must win because Nassau is going to be rocking, and the Islanders, if they go up 2 games to nothing in this series, I can't see them losing it. So for the Tampa Bay Lightning, uh, basically that's that. On the Islanders side, Wallstrom is available. Dal Cole's supposed to be available as well. However, Barry Trotz, after that win in Game 1, might not want to make a lot of changes. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, at this point, Tampa Bay absolute must win. Got to get it done. And for the Islanders, just do exactly what you did in the first game. It worked really well. We'll see what happens. But again, that one starts at 5 Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, and that's the only game. Yeah, we won't have a night with 2 games on for the rest of the playoffs. Nathan Bastian has signed an extension with the New Jersey Devils. 2 years, grand total of $1.65 million. And again, you can look at this as well. That fulfills one of their expansion requirements and all that other stuff. And we'll get further into the whole expansion requirements thing when we get closer to that draft. Because again, we don't know who's going to get traded, who's going to get protected, and all that other stuff. Pekka Rinne yesterday was announced as the winner of the King Clancy Trophy for leadership on and off the ice for humanitarian work. And it's nice to see him win a trophy. Again, we don't know whether or not Rinne's coming back next year, right? So, yeah, we'll see if he does, in fact, return to play next year for the Nashville Predators. I can't see him playing anywhere else. So it'll be Nashville or bust, you have to think. And, yeah, I think they'll sit down and have that conversation if they haven't already. Based on the ovation he got in the last game of the season, that decision may already have been made. We'll see. Interesting with Montreal. We'll see if this changes for Game 2. Tomas Tatar has been a scratch for the last 7 games, including last night. And it is remarkable to think that this is a guy who has scored 30 goals in his career in a season. Just want to point out, he's been a 30-goal scorer before. And at a time where they desperately need goals, it has to be tempting to put him in the lineup for the next game. Just has to be. Even though this season has not been fantastic for Tatar, you have to think he likely goes in the next game and that they'll make some lineup changes. And of course, the big one being, is Petrie going to be back for the next game? If Petrie's back in the next game, that should solidify that defense. And if he's not, maybe we'll see Vegas continuing to just kind of, take that apart. KHL news for today. Lucas Wallmark, Florida Panthers, not anymore. He is signed with CSKA Moscow in the KHL. So, yeah, good luck to him. And, yeah, it makes sense to go to the KHL, and I don't think that's necessarily a huge surprise. It just, wasn't necessarily working out at the NHL level. You go to the KHL, you can make pretty good money in the KHL as well. And maybe after playing in the KHL for a bit, he comes back and tries the NHL again. Winnipeg news. So I'm wearing a Manitoba Moose jersey because, sure, why not? Winnipeg will be renaming their arena. They've got a new corporate agreement. It'll be the Canada Life Center for next year. So MTS becomes Canada Life Center. I don't know. It's one of those corporate names, and all the buildings have them. I do miss the old names for buildings, but it's just me. Yeah, I know it's just me. It's so common now that they all have their corporate names. As long as it's not a really dumb name. And Canada Life Center, again, that's who bought them. That's who bought the rights, I should say, to the naming of the arena. So it's fine. And yeah, so Winnipeg, it's a way to generate some cash by naming the arenas. That's why they use the corporate names, because you can make some good money doing that. Yeah, and then I also wanted to talk about this as well in this video and throw this in here. A lot of talk about Montreal. Oh, they shouldn't even be here, and there's no point. They shouldn't even be here. Almost every playoff year, we have underdog stories. We have teams that are underdogs, Cinderella teams. that go pretty far in the playoffs. Sometimes they go to the final, sometimes they go to the semifinal or the quarterfinal or the preliminary round. Well, preliminary round wouldn't be a Cinderella run. You guys know what I'm getting at here. But yeah, I think that I should do a video on Cinderella teams when that run ends, who ends it, whether or not they get swept when that Cinderella run ends, or is it a 7-game series, and maybe do a power ranking of Cinderella runs, because I don't think I've actually done a power ranking of that. I power ranked Stanley Cup winners, I've power ranked finalists, I've power ranked teams that didn't make the playoffs, or didn't make it to the finals that should have, like the greats that didn't make it. And I could probably do a video as well on each year, the team that was, looking like they should be the cup winners, should be the contender, and didn't get it done. I know I've already done the best teams that didn't win the Stanley Cup, but do something along those lines, just update it a little bit and change it around. But yeah, so that's something I've got in mind because of all the talk about Montreal. And every year there's a team. Every year there's a team that goes pretty far in the playoffs, or at least they score a big upset in the first round, and then everybody gets upset and shakes their fist because they aren't supposed to be here. Okay, well, they are. So, I always pay a team respect for making it that far, regardless of how they did it. Because back in 1982, Vancouver, they were quite fortunate, actually, that Edmonton got knocked out, Minnesota got knocked out, and so instead of going through them, they got to go through LA, they got to go through Chicago, which wasn't as difficult as it would have been to go through the Minnesota North Stars in 1982, or the Edmonton Oilers, who had a pretty good roster. So, anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.